So today I'm going to go over something really basic. It's called drag and drop. Now you might be thinking, why is he making a video about drag and drop? It's really basic. All you do is drag something onto something else. But actually, in the Mac operating system at least, there's a lot of applications for it, and I use it all the time in my own daily workflow, not just for moving files around. We're going to start by talking about one pretty cool little tip is something called spring loading, I think it is. It's basically, so let's say I had this folder here and this file, and I want to move this file into a folder within this folder. What I can do normally is I can just open the folder, navigate to where I want to go, and then drag the file in. But a faster way to do it is if you actually just take the file and you hold over the folder, it will open up the folder. And now I can do this again for that nested folder and again for the folder in there and drop it. So I've actually, without having to do any extra mouse clicks, I can just use one click to hold it in. Kind of like speed running, I guess, in that way. So the next thing is you can actually drag and drop text between applications. It's a little bit finicky. It doesn't work in some things. Like, for example, I couldn't get it to work in Chrome for some reason, but it usually works. Let's say I have another text file and I want to move this text or copy this text from this file into this one. I could just select it, copy, and paste. But what's actually easier is if I just click and hold on the text, I will be able to drag it over into another text file or word processor or whatever you're using. You can also use this feature to create text files on your desktop. So if I had this text and I want to save it for later and I don't have some sort of application that can do that already, or I just have some deep hatred for post-it notes, what I can do is I can just drag and drop this text directly onto the desktop and it saves it onto this special file. This isn't just a normal .txt file. Notice it's got this weird extension at the end. So you're not able to use this for, like, I don't know, if you're writing a script or something, just be careful that this isn't the original. It's a special container. But it is still useful because you can still open it and you can edit it and stuff. So what's after this? Right. So this one's pretty easy, and this is basically one that I think most people have used at some point. Is let's say you want to have this, like, for example, let's say you have, where was that text file from before? Let's say you have this like text file here, and I don't want to open this in text edit. I want to open this in Sublime Text. Instead of opening Sublime Text, if it would actually open, please, thank you. Instead of opening Sublime Text, going to File, Open, blah, 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 blah. What I can actually do is I can just take this text file and drag it onto the icon. And when I let go, it opens the file in the application. This can be used for any application. You can preview, it works for Word, it works for Chrome, it works for Safari, it works for every single thing, as long as that file type is supported. So for example, I can't open a movie in Microsoft Word, that's just not gonna work. But I can drag and drop it onto QuickTime, for example, and then it's gonna work. Now, another really useful feature is, let's say I, for example, went to File, Open Recent, and I had this text file here that I have open. And I know this file is somewhere in my operating system, somewhere in my file system. In this case, it's like 3 folders deep into this random folder on my desktop. And I want to move this file from wherever it is just onto the desktop. This is useful, for example, when you open like a PDF after downloading it or whatever, and it's somewhere in your downloads folder and you want it somewhere else. Instead of navigating to where that file is, what you can do is you can actually, you see this little icon up here where the file name is? If you click and hold on this icon and drag it, you can actually drag this file to somewhere else. Notice how there's a little arrow there though. This isn't actually moving the file. What it's doing by default is it's creating an alias. If you remember from the Symlinks tutorial, an alias is just a reference to where a file is. It's a shortcut. If you've used Windows, most icons on the desktop are shortcuts. So if you want to actually move the file, you have to hold the command key. And as you can see, it changes to a normal cursor. And when I let go, the file has been moved from where it was originally onto the new location where I dragged it. Going back to the whole snippet saving text drag thing, this also works for links in the browser. So let's say, for example, I don't know, like they're on Mac Rumors or whatever, and you have, you want to save, like, let's say you find this really cool article, like, whoa, I want to save this, and you don't want to use your bookmarks browser for whatever reason, or Chrome doesn't have reading list built in. What you can do is you can actually click to select the link and then just select it, and you can drag the link actually to your desktop, and this will actually save a link. So when I open this link, it'll open the direct URL in the browser. This is really useful if you have like a really common website you like to use a lot and you want to write a script, for example, that opens it, or if you just want to be that person who has websites on their desktop, that's perfectly fine. So it has a lot of useful applications. I personally don't use it, but those applications exist. Another really basic use for drag and drop is basically dragging apps off the dock. So let's say I don't want the App Store on my dock anymore. I could right click it, go to options, and then remove from dock, but who has time for that when you can just click, hold, and drag it up? Notice I do have to drag it a considerable distance up before it actually works. So you see nothing, 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 and now it works. And when I let go, it's been removed from the dock. And then I can also add it by going back to the applications folder and dragging it back into the dock. This is great for when you want to reorganize your dock in any sort of way. Finally, I'm going to talk about moving menu bar items around. So if your menu bar gets like super cluttered, or you just want to be that person who has an organized menu bar, you can actually hold down the command key and click and drag any of the menu bar elements. Okay, well, not any. I think there are exceptions where some menu bars or some applications don't support this. But actually, I think in High Sierra now, or in Sierra, in recent Mac operating systems, the support is expanded. So you can actually reorganize these to anything you want. Like, let's say I want my date all the way on the right, and like I want like Spotlight right next to it, like a reverse order or something like that. That works quite well. All right, so thanks for watching. That is everything on drag and drop, and hopefully I wasn't going too fast.